Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm so glad you're here to join me. And if you tried to join me on the live stream, you saw that I had some major tech issues, and I apologize for that. I am learning this new platform as I go. And you know what? You're just getting to see the real behind the scenes of an online business at work here. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? I always believe that you can figure out anything you want to do. If you want to do it bad enough, there's a will, there's a way. So I am actually going to record this video and then upload it, and hopefully you'll have the information, because what I wanted to do that I was having issues is I actually wanted to share my own LinkedIn profile and show you some of the changes that I was making. So let me back up, because some of you may not have seen that flubbed up video, and let me introduce myself. My name is Beverly Smith. I am the founder of Career Success Strategies, and I am a former business owner of a staffing and recruiting firm and have over 2 decades of experience within that industry. And so I have experience hiring my own employees, as well as helping hiring managers, hundreds of hiring managers through the years, hire employees. So I have firsthand knowledge of what hiring managers are looking for, business owners, HR people are looking for when they are looking for employees. And so now I help mid and senior level managers with their resumes, with their job search strategies, because I want to help them stand out, get found, and land the job of their dreams. So if you are watching this, please use hashtag replay and leave me a comment. I want to know where, and tell me where you're watching, and just say, hey, I want to make sure that I give you a shout out, and love to hear any comments that you have along the way. Also, if you have questions about anything I'm talking about, leave that in there and I will come back and answer your questions. It may even prompt me to do another video. So you're doing me a favor when you ask me questions, because I want to make sure that you're clear on the things that we're going to be talking about. And over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be doing a series on LinkedIn on how you can be more visible on the platform. So there's going to be several things that we're talking about. And during the next couple of weeks, actually, when I started preparing the material for this week's video, I discovered I had so much information. It's going to all be about your LinkedIn profile. And so in the interest of time, because I know you don't want to hear me ramble on, I want to keep it short. So I'm going to divide this into two. So this one will come out this week, and then next week we're going to dive more into what to put in on your about section, on your experience, skills, just all those different things. But this week, I want to talk more about some behind the scene things to do with your LinkedIn profile before you get started. And first of all, let me kind of back up. If you're a mid or senior level manager and you are actively or passively looking for a new career opportunity, you absolutely must be on the LinkedIn platform. Let me say that again. If you are a senior or a mid-level manager who is either actively or passively looking for new career opportunities, you've got to be on the LinkedIn platform. And why is that? Well, here's the deal. 87% of all recruiters go to LinkedIn every day to find candidates to fill their job openings. And if you are not here on LinkedIn, they cannot find you. And I'm going to take that a step further. It's not just enough to be here. You're going to need to be active, because you may say, well, I got a profile. I'm good. First of all, we're going to talk about things to do to your profile to ensure that it's visible. But then in the coming weeks, we're going to talk about things that you can do to make sure that you use the platform to its fullest and ensure that you're getting discovered. Guys, you may not realize this, but 80% of all jobs are not even advertised, 80% of them. So by not being active on LinkedIn, you could be missing out on some of the best opportunities, and you could be missing out on making new connections, building your network, and learning more and networking with people in your industry and your field. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to start with your profile, and I am going to share my screen. Okay. And okay, we are on my LinkedIn profile. And a couple of things that I want to start out with right off the bat. If you come up to this icon up here that says me, I'm kind of hovering over it, click this drop down arrow. I want you to scroll to settings and privacy. Over here on the left are several different things, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some of these in just a minute. But I first want to jump down to visibility, and detect this all the way at the bottom. But there's two things here. Let's start with the second one. Share your profile updates with your network. Guys, make sure that this is toggled to off. Here's the deal. You do not, if you are searching for a job confidentially, you don't want to broadcast every single change you're making to your profile. Secondly, even if you're not, it's obnoxious. Whether your network is 10 people, 50 people, or 250 people, or even more, you don't want to be broadcasting and sending notifications every time you make an update. And I get this in your notifications, and it's like spammy. And they're like, what's going on with this person? Does she or she not know how to turn this off? So this is where you go to turn it off. And then I kind of think this one up here is interesting. Manage active status. You may want to give this one a consideration. I have mine set to right now actively that my connections see when I'm active. You may want to change this if you are searching confidentially to no one can see when you're active, at least while you're making changes. If you're going into your profile, changing changes. So just keep that in mind. That one is not as huge as the second one right here. So let's see. So that's my first pro tip. And make sure that you get that done before you do anything else. So second tip, and I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to click, anytime you want to get to your profile, if you just click that circle up there and then click view profile, or click the me up at the top and click view profile. That's how you get back to your profile. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. My second tip here. Oh, I know what it was. Email address. I had to take a quick look at my notes. Okay, let's go back to our settings and account preferences. Let's go to sign in and security where it says email address. Make sure, absolutely sure, that this email address is associated and is not your work email address for the company where you're working. You want to make sure that that is a personal email address. So another pro tip I have when it comes to your email addresses, because you're going to need to have one on your resume, it's thought of that Gmail is the best one to have. It looks the most professional, the most up-to-date. I recommend that you even just create an email address with some form of your name. You don't want to have Beverly is a hot mess or anything like that. You just want to have some derivative of your name, like Beverly Smith, and maybe a number or whatever, because there's maybe if you happen to have the last name Smith, that could be taken. But you want to have some derivative of your name and do a Gmail account, and then use that strictly for any job search. Put your LinkedIn account associated with maybe your Indeed account, anything that you use related to your job search. your email correspondence to potential hiring managers. You could even create a custom signature with your proposed job title underneath. So there's just all kinds of things. So get you a Gmail account. It looks more professional than using a Yahoo or a Hotmail. I've got hot mess on my mind. I guess I kind of feel like a hot mess today, but I promise I got my act under control here. Got it together. So the thing is, Yahoo and Hotmail, they tend to look outdated. And so we don't want anyone judging us by what email address that we're using. So stick to a Gmail account for a free email. Make sure, here's why, and to get to the point, why you do not want to use your work email is if you leave that company and you have not changed it, you're going to be forever locked out of your LinkedIn account because they're going to go in and they're going to delete your email or they're going to forward it to someone else. So get this fixed right away. While we are in here, you can see there's other things that you can do. I recommend that you go in and check these things out, get familiar with this. And again, just so you'll know, the way we got here, I'm going to go back to my profile, click the Me button, click the drop down, and go to Settings and Privacy. From there, we went to Visibility, and that's where we turned off our notifications. But account preferences, there's things that you can look at here. And I will just leave that for you to go in and look at. I don't see anything here that really stands out, but let's maybe take a look at visibility again. There's a lot of things here. Your name and headline. This is what it's going to look like. So to others, I would recommend that you show your full name and your headline. Let's see. When you edit, if you click this one, basically down here, this gives you a lot of choices as to what you can show. I'm going to recommend that if you are seeking a job, that you either make this viewable to all LinkedIn members or to public. The good thing about public is this will increase your SEO visibility if your profile is filled out right. But these are other things that you can have on your profile that you can have show. So let's go back and let's see. Who can see the members? No, I want to go to this one. Who can see your last name? I'm going to say from a recruiter standpoint, I want to see your first and last name. I don't like the initial. I think this helps you become more discoverable. It does say down here, if you leave your last name and the recruiter knows your last name, they can still search for you. But I think it's better to have your first and last name showing here. Let's go back. And I think the rest of these you can pretty much just look through and make a decision about what is best for you in this case. I would probably have my email address discovered. Now, if you are working for someone and you have your business email address and you're searching confidentially, you want to leave your business email address, but you can have, you could actually add both email addresses there as well. Okay. Let me go back and, okay. So another tip for you is let's go. It's just easier to go back here and view profile. If you'll see up here in my search bar, my LinkedIn profile says my name, Beverly D. Smith. I have customized my URL. If you have not done this, it's probably going to have your first and last name and a bunch of numbers after this. You want to do a custom URL. And y'all, this is so easy. Please do this today. Please do this. And in order to do it, you just come up here. It's so easy. Click on this pencil right here where it says public profile and URL. You're going to click on it and you are going to click on it again, and there's what's in the blank is what your URL is going to look like. That's how people can search you. It's got to contain at least 3 characters, and it can contain up to 100, but it cannot use any spaces, symbols, or special characters. So you want it to be as close to your name as possible. I use my middle initials to keep it very close to my name. You cannot where like with an Instagram handle or something where you put the dots and symbols and things like that. You cannot do that here. So, but you can put numbers. So if you need to use a number, that's fine too. But I would try to make it as much your name as possible and customize it. It just makes searching it easier. If you need to write it out for somebody, it's easy to remember. It's easy to find it. So that is my other pro tip for you there. Let's go back to view profile and let me come down here. The next thing that I want to talk about is having a photo. And you can see that I have a professional photo taken of mine. Please, guys, it is not that expensive to get a professional headshot made. Don't use a selfie. I don't want to see your arm outstretched. I don't know if you can see me, but I don't want to see your arm outstretched on the selfie, which as much as you edit it, you can still tell. Don't use your wedding photo and cut out your bride or your husband. Don't use any photo with another person, family. This just needs to be a professional headshot. Now, you don't necessarily, guys, you don't necessarily have to wear a suit and tie if that's not standard in your industry. So if a polo style shirt is standard, that would be fine too, or just a button-up shirt. Make it look neat and professional though. No t-shirts, things like that. And again, invest in a professional headshot. And here's why. You're going to find as you grow in your career, there's going to be other times you're going to need a professional headshot. If you get asked to participate on a board, there's a good chance they're going to want a professional headshot. And you already having that on the ready is going to make your life so much easier. I recommend maybe investing in those every year or two. Some people recommend a little bit more often. I think that just depends on how much you change your looks. So if you drastically change your hair color or the way your haircut, or guys, if you're wearing a beard now and you're clean shaven later, you may want to adjust it that way. But every few years is good. Just again, make sure that, and if you, this is why I think you need to go to a professional photographer and tell them what you're getting a headshot for, because they'll make sure that you have a good neutral background that's not distracting, and that you have the dimensions you need. So LinkedIn recommends 400 by 400. And I found this was interesting. I was actually in a training last week, and the presenter said that if you want to avoid your image being grainy, to actually double it. So go to 800 by 800 or even a 600 by 600, but it will avoid it looking really grainy. And those would be the dimensions you use. So the other thing, while we are talking about photos, you can see I have a banner photo up here, and I recommend that you get rid of the LinkedIn banner photo on this. So when I say a banner photo, I mean that typically will have just like a blue background. And if you have this, then it's real easy to change that. You can go into a free app like Canva, CANVA.com, and they actually have templates that you can use, and you can change the colors on those. One thing that's really cool that I've seen some job seekers do is they've actually put keywords. So they've used maybe their job title in bold and then 2 or 3 keywords that are related. into them in there, and maybe they've added another picture. If you do put another picture in your banner, and I keep going over here, make sure it's far enough away. So just like mine is, and if you'll notice, it's over here to the right, so it doesn't interfere with the profile picture. And you can also put a unique statement in there to you. Or you could just even, put a very nice background. If you don't want to make one in Canva, which you can actually go somewhere to like Fiverr.com, Fivver, and get someone to make one for you for very inexpensive. Or you could just do a internet search for free LinkedIn cover photos or free LinkedIn banners. And I have seen these be done, and that they're just free and they'll fit and everything. And I was going to tell you too, the dimensions you need on that per LinkedIn are 1584 by 396. So you may want to consider doubling that so it's not grainy in your searches. Also, keep in mind, most of your recruiters are probably going to be looking at LinkedIn and looking at your profile from their desktop, but you may want to check to see how that cover image looks from your LinkedIn app on your phone. So we are getting we have gone 20 minutes already, and I really don't want to go on and on, but one more thing I'm going to tell you about LinkedIn here is you have a headline space right here. And what I would like for you to see you do is it's naturally going to default to whatever your job says. So mine would have naturally defaulted to resume writer or career search consultant, or if I was still had this as my last job, it would say staffing and recruiting executive / president. You want to customize this because this is an area that you can put keywords into. So you can start with maybe your headline. So let's just say you are an HR manager. You could put either human resources manager. It's probably acceptable to put HR manager. And then you can use one of these pipes or a bullet or a slash. Pay attention and notice how I have spaces between my pipes there. This is important because these are searchable. These keywords are searchable. And so if the pipe is right next to it, it messes up the search feature. So let's say, back to our example, you're an HR manager. You may want to put in some key words such as that are related to the job. So the best way to do this is, if you don't really know what to put, go and put your job title in the search bar on your browser and pull it up and type in keywords. So HR manager keywords and see what it pulls up. So I grabbed a few, and it's going to depend because there's so many different aspects. You could be doing recruiting or things like that. But I grabbed for my next three in there, employee relations, performance management, and succession planning would be a great option on that as well. So, all right. So let me see. You could put those in there, and then you could just follow it with like a branding statement of who you help. And we'll dive more into that next week to get into the actual ins and outs of where to make that changes, as well as I'm going to stop the share, as well as all the other things that you need to put in your profile. Otherwise, this is going to be like an hour-long video, and I don't want it to be. I want this to be something that you can consume during your lunch hour or during a break and get some good content. If you find this useful, please let me know. If you have questions, if things you want to see in more detail, let me know, because I am here to help you guys. I'm here to answer your questions. I want to make sure that you use this platform. I think it's the most underutilized thing that job seekers do. And yeah, I actually was speaking with a recruiter today that was like, please tell them to use a professional headshot. So I can't emphasize that enough. But anyway, if you found this helpful, let me know. Leave me a comment. Please share this video if it's appropriate for you to share. And I will be back with you next week on part 2 of your LinkedIn profile. And if you want to reach out to me, you can DM me here on LinkedIn or on my business page at Career Success Strategies, or you can also send me an email. My email address is beverly@cssar.com. I am here to answer your questions. If you need help with a resume, I can definitely would love to review one and do a consultation with you to see if we are fit to work together and help you come up with a good strategy for that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.